Good morning, this is the Eager Beaver Show.
You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver Media Incorporated podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Misfit Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters, CanadianTarot.com, your uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community, and the Peppermaster, hot pepper sauces made from farm-fresh ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind.
Well, hello, and good Friday evening to each and every one of you, whether you're watching live or catching this later. I thought I'd come on this evening and just do my bit, trying to do a Friday evening wrap-up of the week that was. Sorry, just adjusting the light here. It's funny how just before you go live, you think everything's set, and then you look up and realize, nope, I need to make another correction. So anyway, thanks to our sponsors, the Corvid Moon Publishing with the Misfit Mysteries, Canadian PsychicTarot.com, my apologies, and the Peppermaster, who have been with us from the very beginning. And thank you for continuing to support us. We really do appreciate it. So, had to clear my throat. I, just as a heads up, I'm going to do a pubcast tomorrow, just for a couple hours, probably get started around 2 p.m. I've got a few things I got to take care of in the morning, so 1 p.m. is not, I just can't make that happen. But it's going to be a light, lovely Thanksgiving Day weekend podcast on the Saturday, probably starting around 2 p.m. And anybody who wants to join in and share some stories about what they like to nosh on Thanksgiving weekend, you're more than welcome to do so. I will put the link in the chat once I go live, so anybody wants to come and join me, by all means. And if you want to join me in person, feel free to just come on down to the pub. Mr. Beaver will join in later on. He has rehearsals tomorrow, so he won't be able to be live in person here with me. He will join remotely from K-Town. So, yeah, that's tomorrow. But for today, let's have a conversation about the week that was. And wow, what a week. So before I dive into the Donald Trump thing, and I am going to go into that, I, I do want to share something with you. I don't know if Mr. Beaver shared this or not, because I don't know if he saw it. And my hours are all over the map, so I don't have a chance to watch the show until later, and I've not seen yesterday's or today's. So I thought I would share this clip with you. This is truly bizarre. I can't get over this clip. It is. Sorry, I've got other things popping up on my screen right now that shouldn't be here. Strange. There we go. Cleared that up. This is from Tara Armstrong. Now, Tara Armstrong is House Leader of 1 BC MLA for Kelowna Lake Country Coldstream. I don't know if she's a conservative. I don't know what her party affiliation is. I don't know. 1 BC. I don't know what the heck that's all about. But she's from Kelowna, and this is a truly bizarre thing that she says in the legislature just the other day. I'm going to share it with you because it's out there, man. I mean, this is just truly bizarre. I'll read her tweet after we watch the video. I'm just queuing it up here. I'll share the video with you, and then I'll read about her tweet. In case you haven't seen this already, be prepared for some bizarre ranting. It's about 1 minute and 54 seconds. Hold on to your hats. You're going to need to.
British Columbia is sleepwalking through the greatest medical scandal in modern history. And it's our kids who are at risk. In BC today, doctors are causing irreversible harm to children with puberty blockers, cross-sex hormones, and surgeries. These interventions rob children of the human right to grow up with their bodies intact and to one day have children of their own. BC schools add to this harm by socially transitioning children with new names and pronouns, often kept secret from parents. Gender clinics in BC are even performing double mastectomies on healthy young girls by the age of 14. All because we fell for the lie, a lot of us did, that children can be born in the wrong body. It's not true, though. Every child is beautiful, just as they are. No drugs or scalpels are needed. Every jurisdiction in the world that has conducted a systematic review of the scientific literature has found no credible evidence to support this practice. So let's all make it stop. And this should not be a partisan issue. This bill will bring BC in line with the UK and other progressive European countries that have banned harmful and unscientific social and medical gender transition procedures for minors. In our schools, it will stop them using the wrong pronouns, keep boys out of girls' bathrooms, and remove gender ideology from school libraries and curriculum. It will stop doctors from attempting to change the sex of minors. In short, it will end this unbelievable era of indoctrination and medical malpractice. Please join me as we restore sanity to this province and provide the loving care that every child deserves.
What the fuck? This woman is out of her fucking mind. Her tweet. Today I introduced the Protecting Minors from Gender Transition Act in the BC legislature. My bill would stop schools from transitioning children behind their parents' backs and protect them from harmful drugs and surgeries. Exactly, Linda. Doctors aren't changing the sex of minors. It's not happening. And she wants to make it illegal to have puberty blockers. You see, what puberty blockers do is just prevent the onset of puberty before a person recognizes who they want to be, or who they feel they are, or where they're... Could we please, I beg of you, Canadians, stop electing stupid, ignorant, uninformed individuals? Go ahead and get mad at me if you want, because there's haters who are going to hate me for this. But look, I don't care. I don't care that you hate me. You need to understand something. Children who are suffering from gender bias, gender ideology, gender dysphoria, body dysphoria, a lot of them don't make it to adulthood because they feel they're not accepted, and they unalive themselves. This treatment that is available to children starts with counseling, psychological help. It saves lives. Something tells me this woman's got some right-wing evangelical ideology somewhere in her browser history. Either way, my response to that was simple. You should probably not partake in the BC Bud before addressing the legislature. I mean, You must be higher than a kite to say something so verifiably untrue. Misinformation spreading is a danger to democracy. Stop. That's dangerous, what she just did. Lives will be lost because of that. But she doesn't care. Because she feels her superior. I'm better than you ideology. At least that's the vibe I get. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's the vibe I get. Children will die because she is trying to prevent them from seeking the medical care that they require. I'm lucky. I've known forever that I'm attracted to women. I've always known that I'm a man, and I've always felt that I should be a man. I'm very lucky. Not everybody gets to experience that. A number of former coworkers, there's about 3 or 4, and a couple of friends, have transitioned. I'm not going to get into the details because it's not important for you to know that. But we're still friends. We still chat. I don't use their dead name. I use the name that they wish to be addressed by. You see, because it boils down to this. It's real simple. So my name is Paul. A lot of people refer to me as Paulie. And I'm completely fine with that. I know a guy, his name is Andrew. He goes by Andy, but his name is Andrew. But again, he introduces himself as Andy, and he goes by Andy. So if you met him, would you start calling him Andrew when he introduced himself as Andy? Because Andy is the name he likes to be called by. Not Andrew. He likes to go by Andy. That's what he's done his whole life. And he likes it that way. So if you meet someone and you use their dead name, it's because you're an asshole. If you meet Andy and call him Andrew, he probably won't respond to you. Do you see how that works? Do you understand? Do you get that? Why does this woman feel she needs to intervene in something that actually is of no concern to her? She's literally inserting herself into families to try and, I guess, what she sees as righting a wrong, except here's the thing. A child who is suffering from gender dysphoria or sexual dysphoria or body dysmorphia, that should involve them and their physician and maybe a parent. I say maybe a parent because some parents are not accepting of their children who go through that. So this lady is going to have people killed if she continues to do this. She's being ignorant. And I have to move on before I get too incensed and start swearing my head off. It's a very convoluted, complicated situation. And blindly saying we're not going to allow any of that will get people killed. Simple as that. Having a beer because it is Friday and it's 6:30. I initially wanted to start this at 6 p.m. tonight, but I thought, I might not have time, so I'll set it for 6:15. Turns out I was ready at 6, but I was like, you know what? I'll use that extra 15 minutes together. A little bit more information about a couple of different things. And one of the other things I wanted to discuss before we get into the Trump stuff, and I'm going to delve on that. I'm not going to go head first and go swimming in the deep end of that, but I'm sure you saw Skippy the Wonder Pigeon, Pierre Poilievre, go on the other day about how, Mark Carney just gave $1 trillion to the U.S. and you're all going to lose your jobs and unemployment is through the roof and half the country is on the verge of bankruptcy. And the man either has a vivid imagination or he loves to spread misinformation. And if you saw our interview on Thursday, you know that there's a petition in the House of Commons to get a law passed to prevent parliamentarians from lying. Intentionally lying, especially so. Occasionally, someone will get facts wrong and make a mistake. Okay, you have an opportunity to go and correct that and make right that wrong. However, sometimes the lie is so big, you can't get that horse back into the barn. It's already out there running around. And you know what I'm talking about. At least I hope you do. I mean, my goodness. We're in a very strange time right now. Here's a great, interesting fact from our friend Creek Pete. Province of Ontario in the month of September, change in employment from August 2025 to September 2025. Ontario, Canada's most populous province, 16,290,000, I think we're somewhere near that. We lost 47,000 jobs in September. What I would like to know is why the RCMP is dragging its feet on investigating the corruption that is the Doug Ford government. But that's another story for another time and day that I don't have enough time to get into. I do want to, where did my feed? Oh, there it is. I'm looking for my feed, my Trump feed of the ridiculousness that is Trump and how I'm sure he is blowing a gasket or 6 over the fact that he did not win the Nobel Prize for peace. But why would he even be thought of as being qualified for it? The woman who won the prize this year has dedicated her life to doing what she does, doing so in an environment where she places herself in serious jeopardy on a daily basis just for standing up for the right thing. Trump has never placed himself in jeopardy at any point in his entire life. The closest he ever came was his 34 felony convictions and his sexual assault conviction. I guess we can't say the R word, but he definitely was convicted of sexual assault against E. Jean Carroll. And somehow they elected him president because the cult that believes in every word he says are the same folks who thought that Charlie Kirk was a benevolent, kind Christian. You know, when you spew hatred on a daily basis and spread misinformation and lies, again, on a daily basis, with the intent of doing harm to marginalized groups, you're an evil piece of shit. That's what Charlie Kirk was. That's what Donald Trump is. Again, I'm not happy that Charlie Kirk went out the way he did, because I don't get a chance to, ever engage. Nobody will ever again, because they, and I say they because we don't know who actually pulled the trigger, and I don't think it was the guy that they have in jail. There's all kinds of conflicting things about that. Anyway. Trump is probably, like I said, blowing a gasket or 6 over the fact that he did not receive the Nobel Peace Prize. And he's going to demand it next year because I just ended the war on Hamas. Actually, Donald, the most you did was yell at Marco Rubio over the phone to get it done while you were getting your diaper changed. You had nothing to do with the damn deal. You're on your Twitter machine or your Truth Social machine and watching Fox News show you reports and video from 5 or 6 years ago how about Portland is on fire when it's not. And then you get this crazy fantasy in your head that you need to send the military in because your chief of staff, Goebbels, Stephen Miller, the new Goebbels, he's Jewish, but he's a Nazi. He's a Nazi. He's a Nazi. Stephen Miller is a Nazi. Tell me otherwise. Tell me otherwise. He said that Trump is absolute power. The president has absolute power. And then that feed went blank, and then it came back, and they never addressed that statement. This was a CNN report from the other day. You do realize that it's 1933 all over again, right? Call me alarmist. I don't care. I don't care. Call me alarmist. I'm telling you what's happening. If you are wondering what your behavior, what your thought process, what you would have done in Germany in 1933, you're doing it right now. Because it's happening all over again. They're arresting people left, right, and center. American citizens frequently. American citizens born in America. And now you've got the idiots freaking out over the fact that Bad Bunny, an American citizen by the frickin' way, he was born in Puerto Rico, that makes him an American citizen. And now that he lives on the mainland, he can actually vote. But if he stayed in Puerto Rico, he's disenfranchised. You can't vote. You're an American citizen, but you don't get to vote. You have no representation. It's a very bizarre situation. But Bad Bunny is an American citizen who is one of the world's biggest pop stars. And all the people freaking out, while he's a Spanish-speaking, so you freaked out about Kendrick Lamar, you freaked out about Beyonce, you freaked out about The Weeknd. The Weeknd, by the way, is Canadian, just in case you didn't know. See, it has nothing to do with how big of a pop star they are. It has everything to do with the fact that Bad Bunny is, well, he's not me. He doesn't look like me. Neither does Beyonce or The Weeknd or Kendrick Lamar or Dre or Rihanna. And Rihanna, by the way, is not American either. She's from Barbados. She's Bajan. Dan Aykroyd has played Super Bowl halftime show, Coldplay, just a couple of years ago. Not Americans. All the rednecks are freaking out that, well, he's from Puerto Rico. Yeah, that makes him an American citizen. Well, he speaks Spanish. Congratulations. So do millions of people that live in your country. We've had artists who speak French in this country because, we have 2 official languages. See the heart of it. What's at the heart of it? Is racism. That's all it is. It's plain and simple. It's racism. You might be right about that, Linda. We're going to have to spray paint our steel gold to ship to the U.S. so that Donald Trump, it's gold. I saw the Oval Office PR stunt. I don't know what you want to call it, when Mark Carney was there the other day, and it's like that. Why is the Oval Office more hit? Oh, it's because of all this gold, but it's not. Apparently, it's real gold, not fake gold. It's because we figured out how to put the real. Did Trump go to Versailles when he was young and said, "This is what we should do"? Because if you've ever been to Versailles, it's yikes. Oh, by the way, gold is now $4,000 an ounce. I don't know if that means that the economy is about to tank, but it's usually a pretty good sign. Oh yeah, by the way, this is Laker Lager. It's $1.99 for a 473 milliliter can at the corner store. Anyway, Ontario craft beer. Cheapest one in the store, too. And I like it. So, where do we go with this whole Trump thing? On how dispatching the military, and apparently the governor of Texas is about to dispatch the Texas National Guard to California to help with whatever fantasy Trump has in his head about how Los Angeles is crumbling. You see, when you send in a military wing from one state to another, that's called an invasion, and you have a constitutional crisis, amongst other things, because you can't do that. It's like a declaration of war. But Trump don't care. Neither do his cult-like minions who follow him. And every time I turn around, there's another major media network somewhere that is kowtowing to him because of the fact that he will either pull their license or not have somebody sign. And again, it's not him. He doesn't get to do this. There are people in different departments that he's telling them what to do. He's pulling the puppet strings. But I want to know who's pulling his puppet strings. Is it Putin? Is it Miller? Because he's not smart enough to figure this stuff out on his own. I mean, he's a vindictive asshole for sure, but he's not that smart. When he went to the Wharton School of Business, there was one of the professors who said he was the dumbest goddamn student I ever had in my entire career. And this was long before he ever ran for president. So, yeah. Yeah, Israel has the Iron Dome. Trump has to have the Golden Dome. Golden shower? We all know about the P-tape. Apparently, the rumor, for those of you who've never heard about it before, was when he was in Russia, when he was in Moscow. He went into the room that apparently Obama had stayed in on a state visit and had a couple of paid escorts urinate on the bed. Not on him on the bed, and he was watching and cheering it on, apparently. Apparently, I don't know if that's all. If that's not the thing. Anyway, it's been a bizarre news week. And I read a lot of it throughout the day because I have downtime waiting for responses. I get in the office at 6 a.m., so I'm waiting for emails. I have time. And I read a lot of news items from, BBC, CBC, Deutsche Welle, The Guardian, which is such a wonderful publication. I strongly support and recommend that you check out The Guardian. And if you can throw them a couple of bucks, feel free to do so. If you can throw us a couple of bucks, I would love that. I got a hefty bill I got to pay here for advertising. Anyway, I don't want to get too far into the weeds on that one. But yeah. Trump going on about how the tariffs are going to benefit his nation. And so what's recently happened, if you're not aware, China is buying soya and beef from Brazil and Argentina. Argentina, under Milei, whatever that crazy, Javier, the bizarre haircutted fellow. I don't have any hair, so go ahead and make fun of that. I shave my head. I'm wearing it too because it's kind of chilly in here right now. They haven't turned on the heat yet, and the temperature dropped to 0 this morning. But Milei, or Javier, who went with these austerity measures and basically cut the entire social safety net to try and spur the economy. And I get it. Look, I am not an economist. I am not one to tell you what the right method of running the nation's economy is. However, harming the people that are marginalized, harming the people that are on the fringes of society, harming those who require the social safety net to stay above water, harming them because you can and they can't do anything about it or say anything about it, is not the right way to go about doing it. Maybe seizing assets of foreign. I don't know how to solve the problem, but I know that punching down is not a good way to go about doing it. And as it turns out, their economy is completely in the shitter right now. So Trump said he's 100% behind Javier. I'll just call him Javier because I keep screwing up his surname. Trump said he's 100% behind him and loaned him $20 billion just the other day. Now, the funny thing about that is, at the same token, because of the tariffs Trump has put on everything from every country in the world, because he's too stupid to realize that tariffs are harmful to the economy and to the nation and to manufacturing and et cetera and et cetera. And I could go on for an hour about that crap, but I'm not going to, because of the fact that all of a sudden Argentina and Brazil are selling beef and soy to China. And the farmers in the United States of America who used to sell that to China no longer can, because China's not buying from them anymore. So a lot of the farmers that voted for the Republicans voted for Trump, saying, we're going to take our country back, which is a bizarre thing to say when you actually stole it from the indigenous peoples who have lived here for thousands of years. Take it back. Well, take it back from whom? Who took it from you? You took it from somebody else. Anyway, the bizarreness that is their support for somebody who has actually effectively, figuratively slit their throats. Now, a lot of these right-wing Republicans are suddenly all about bailouts, or as we often hear it, socialism. Socialism. We're going to have a social safety net to support those who voted for the Republicans because I just give up some days, you know. How are you supposed to just sit there and listen to somebody say something that's so patently absurd and support them? I don't know what to say some days, folks. It's been a week. I know that the ceasefire is currently underway in Israel. How long that'll last for, I don't know. I don't think it's going to last that long, to be honest with you, because of the fact that once they get the hostages back, I think Bibi will go on the attack again. Because that's who Netanyahu is. Number one, and number two, he needs to keep the war going so he can avoid prison. It's as simple as that. He's not in a good place. Once this comes to a halt, an end, he's going to go to prison for crimes against humanity, amongst other things. There's many people in Israel that really don't like him. So I don't imagine this ceasefire is going to last as long as some people seem to think, because of the fact that Netanyahu needs the war to keep going just so he can keep his head. I mean, tell me I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I am. But I don't think I am. I think we're going to see this continue because he needs it to. Kind of like Putin needs his war to continue. But you notice he's not recruiting anybody from the big cities of St. Petersburg or Moscow, because he still has control over the message on what those folks in those parts of Russia are hearing. But the minute he has to start recruiting people from those major metropolitan areas, he's lost the control he currently has over the narrative that he's been spinning. So yeah, it's a crazy time to be alive. Sorry, I'm just checking my feed here for something. I thought something had popped up a minute ago, and there it is. Here we go. There we go. Yeah, okay, I'll share this with you. This is an interesting image. I believe we call this the Epstein Award, which Trump is being bestowed with here by Jeffrey Epstein. who is not really in the public eye anymore because it's rumored that he has taken his own life. He committed suicide. Okay, I don't know what the balloons were. I have no idea what that was all about. I guess if I do finger quotes, balloons pop up? Maybe? No, I don't know. I have no idea where that came from or why. Sorry about that. That was very strange. So yeah, Donald Trump has won the Epstein Award. And he's just going to continue to invade American cities to distract us from the Epstein files. And Mike Johnson still hasn't sworn in, I forget the young woman's name. I say young woman because she's younger than me. So the young woman's name who is the deciding vote on having the Epstein files released. And Johnson will continue to stall. Although we haven't seen his Grindr profile yet. So I wonder what happened with that. If that guy went into hiding or if he's even still with us. He was supposed to release the Grindr profile about a week ago. And I have every reason to believe Mike Johnson has one. It wouldn't, come on. Whether or not this guy had it is neither here nor there. You know damn well this guy does. You know, he's on the down low. Yeah, he's on the down low. Anyway, we have some strange and bizarre folks in the United States of America and their political system right now. There was a senator whose name is escaping me at the moment, but I did see a video clip of him earlier today where he said that on the 18th of October, which is going to be the No Kings protest, that a lot of people are supporting and trumpeting, we should come out and do this march on Washington. And hey, good on you. I hope you do it. I hope it's successful in getting the message out there that Trump thinks he's a king and you can't have a king because you have a republic. Anyway, this senator, Republican senator whose name is escaping me at the moment, said, we know that this is a George Soros paid for violent. We hope it doesn't get violent, but if it gets violent, we're ready for the violence. Like, really? George Soros. Why don't you just tattoo a swastika on your forehead? Because you're just showing us how much of a anti-Semitic Nazi you really are by saying something like that. It's insane. Yes, that's right. PNC bio. Mike Johnson likes to know what porn his son is watching. What kind of freak is that? That's serial killer stuff. Yes, it is. And if you've watched the Ed Gein Monster series, I won't give it away. Maybe you watched it, maybe you didn't, but there's a reference to Mindhunter in there, and they go a little bit more in depth than they did in Mindhunter. And I think they're actually in this particular episode, they may have taken legit recordings from what actually happened. Anyway, I'm not going to get into it, but yeah, that's very bizarre behavior. Why would a father want to know that sort of thing? Anyway, folks, I think I'm going to wrap it up. I apologize. I did have a few more video clips, but I don't know where the hell they went. I had saved them, and I wanted to share them with you, and they seem to have disappeared from my feed. Sometimes I find Twitter can be very finicky it's probably it's probably Elon just eliminating things that he doesn't like. Because I find, there's a good clip. I'll show that to you, and I bookmark it, and I save it, and I put it, and I go to check the book, and it's gone. It's gone. That's probably the right-wing media messaging control folks who are trying to take over all media. And if we let them, we're done. We're finished. We can't let it happen. And on that note, I think I will bid you adieu. I have to take Ms. Lola out. She's patiently waiting on the couch. I take her out now, and then I'll take her out again around 9:30. Be an early evening for me, and then I'm hoping to go live tomorrow around 2 p.m. Do a Saturday afternoon chill out pubcast. Anybody wants to drop in, I'll put the link in the chat. I'm come on in. If you can show up in person, hang out with us, that'd be cool. With us, it's me. I'm going to be the only one there. But Mr. Beaver hopes to join us later once he has an opportunity. So that's why I say it. I'm going to start around 2-ish. I'll post it and you can join for Saturday afternoon chat. I'll have a beer and a burger and try and tell you some stories. And hopefully a few friends can drop by. It'd be great if anybody wants to come in person, sit down and share a mic with me. And for those of you who can't, please join in. I'd like to have a couple of folks just jump on camera with me from wherever you happen to be. It's going to be a very casual pubcast. As every pubcast is, there's no format to it. We just get together, we shoot the shit, we talk about life, we talk about where we're at, and we have a good time because, it's Thanksgiving weekend, and let's give thanks for still being alive in 2025. Yeah, let's give thanks for that. Alrighty, I am going to let you go. I don't have any words of wisdoms other than hopefully you can join me tomorrow. That's my only word of wisdom I have for you. I will hopefully see as many people as can come on, join either online or in person tomorrow. That would be wonderful. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks for coming out, and we'll see you soon. Take care.
You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver Media Incorporated podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Misfit Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters, CanadianTarot.com, your uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community, and the Peppermaster, hot pepper sauces made from farm-fresh ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind. We are grateful to the Crier Media Network for its support, Pete Jarvis for our artwork, and Paul Joseph Something for our opening and closing sequence music.
Just before I go, this just came across my feed. This video is about 2 or 3 minutes old. I'm gonna see if I can cue it up here. Yeah, it's cute. This is hang on. Wait a minute. I'm getting conflicting information here. This came across my feed 3 minutes ago. Trump says he will impose additional 100% tariffs on China. The new tariffs on Chinese goods will kick in on November 1st. These tariffs are on top of the 30% duties already in place on Chinese imports. U.S. President Donald Trump has announced new 100% tariffs on all Chinese goods, in addition to already existing tariffs on Beijing after China placed export controls on rare earths. The U.S. president claimed the tariffs, which will go into effect on November 1st or sooner. November 4th or sooner, in quotes, or sooner, depending on any further actions or changes taken by China, were reciprocal. The U.S. president also plans to impose export controls on any and all critical software. What? It has just been learned that China has taken an extraordinarily aggressive position on trade in sending an extremely hostile letter to the world, stating that they were going to, effective November 1st, 2025, impose large-scale export controls on virtually every product they make, and some not even made by them. Trump said on his Truth Social. What? How can they... They're going to put export controls on products they don't even make. Okay. It is absolutely unheard of in international trade and a moral disgrace in dealing with other nations, Trump said. Trump then announced the new punitive measures in retaliation. The new 100% tariffs come on top of 30% U.S. duties, which were already in place on Chinese imports, summing up to a whopping 130% tariff rate on Chinese goods. The new tariffs threatened to restart a trade war first launched when Trump took office earlier in January, with both nations exchanging exponentially higher tariffs, which were later paused after several rounds of negotiation. Earlier on Friday, Trump threatened to cancel a meeting planned with Chinese President Xi Jinping in nearly 3 weeks in South Korea. The U.S. president said there was no reason to hold the meeting after China announced its dramatic expansion of its rare earth element export controls. Beijing dominates the market for rare earths, which are essential to tech manufacturing. The meeting between Trump and Xi was announced by Trump but never confirmed by China. Well, folks, there you have it. If you live in the United States of America, anything that is manufactured in China, including software, you are now going to pay 130% tariffs on. Good luck with that. Yikes. I'll see you in America. I sure as hell don't want to be you. Bye.